Welcome to the Sawyer County Lincoln Day Dinner, held in Sealy, Wisconsin at the Sawmill Saloon. What a great place and what a great gathering. Quite a group of people here. It's a little noisy. I think my program can pick that up. My first guest tonight was Jennifer Dorow, Judge Jennifer Dorow. She is running for Supreme Court. She has 26 years in the field and 11 years on the bench. We can trust Judge Dorow to uphold the law as it is written and respect the constitutional rights of every citizen. She was appointed Chief Judge by the Supreme Court for 3 terms. Deeply respectful of the constitutional rights our state and federal constitutions endow upon every citizen. Dedicated to her Christian values as a mother of 3 children, a wife to a law enforcement officer, and a graduate of Regent University Law School. She is committed to public safety, compassion for victims, and holding criminals accountable to the law. Dorow demonstrated that commitment recently while presiding over the Waukesha Christmas Parade attack trial. She's a true judicial conservative. Vote February 21st, 2023. For more information, you can reach her at Judge_Jennifer Dorow, and that's DOROW, or Facebook /Judge Jennifer Dorow. Thank you. Please welcome Jennifer Dorow as a guest. All right, here we are sitting here with Jennifer Dorow. She's running for Supreme Court here in Wisconsin as a good conservative, and we're very excited about that. Tell you a little bit about herself, and also maybe talk about your endorsements and why you're running, and just a little bit about your history.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be in Sawyer County. I am Judge Jennifer Dorow, and as you mentioned, I presided over the Christmas Parade attack trial. The defendant was Darrell Brooks, and what I hope your listeners remember from that is my commitment to being fair and impartial. That was no doubt one of the most challenging cases I've ever had in my career, but I was able to navigate through that with fairness, firmness, order, and justice. And that's really my approach to cases every single day. I've been on the bench for 11 years in Waukesha County. I've had 16,000 cases assigned to me across criminal cases, family cases, civil cases. And that's important to me. And I think it's very important to your listeners as they consider who to vote for in this very important election, because the people that come before me, they're everyday people. They're people like you, your sons, your daughters, your aunts and uncles, your neighbors, your family members. The cases that a judge decides has an impact on those people. They're not just names on a piece of paper. I understand how the decisions also affect the witnesses and the victims. I believe the people of Wisconsin want a judge and a justice who is fair, who's open-minded, who will not prejudge cases like the leading left progressive candidate, Janet Protasiewicz. She's telling people the law doesn't matter. The facts don't matter. If it's on abortion, or if it's on a redistricting map, or if it has to do with drop boxes, well, you're going to know my vote because I'm going to tell you my values. I think that is wrong. And I think the people of Wisconsin don't want that out of a justice. They want to know the cases that care about are going to be given a fair shake. I'm running because I looked at what's at stake, understanding the balance of the court. The ideological balance is really at issue because of the retirement of Justice Rogan Sack. And I looked at my 11 years on the bench, my 26-year legal history, my commitment to being fair and impartial. And I said, this is the time for me to run. It's so very important. So I'll certainly answer any questions. I'd love to tell you more about my endorsements, but
Sure. What I'd like to know is one of the issues that hits me the most when we talk about the judicial system and talking about the Supreme Court is that we don't legislate from a bench. And that's what we want to make sure doesn't happen. We don't want legislators. That's what happens in Assembly and Senate. They legislate. We don't like that. And I know it happens a lot on the liberal side. And it's very frustrating to me to hear that. You know, we want our conservative justices to make sure, pay attention to the law and the Constitution in our state, which is what I am really behind 100%. I certainly want to hear a little bit about that because I know that is what you stand for.
Thank you. Absolutely. I believe it's incredibly important and it's required for a justice to uphold the law as written, not legislate from the bench. And that means not inserting into our laws, into our Constitution, what we might want it to say in today's world. That's the job of the legislature, right? They make the laws. If we need to change a law, that's where we go. And if we have justices who insert their own opinion of what law is. There goes the rule of law. It obliterates the separation of powers that our Constitution set up. It actually, that judge is stepping outside of their authority that's been given. Just as we are sometimes called as judges and justices to hold another branch of government in line, say, hey, you stepped out of your lane. It is as important that a justice stay within their legal lane. And that's a pledge to the people of the state of Wisconsin.
Well, let's just hit on another thing, public safety. I think we're all concerned about that too. We've seen crime just go out of whack, and we've seen district attorneys that have really maybe misused their position. And we've witnessed how people are out on bail early and they're not really held accountable. And we've got to make sure that we are safe. I mean, that's one of our biggest issues too. When you're a parent, a grandparent, or anyone, a citizen, you're really concerned about our safety. And I'm very concerned about that as a citizen and a taxpayer. Our taxes are being used for all of this. And we want to make sure that the Supreme Court justices are following the law to make sure that we are obviously making sure that we stick to that and keep people safe too. I think it's really important.
It is so very important that Wisconsin is a safe and secure place for all of us to live, work, and play. You mention crime and public safety, and you talk about the legislative role in our system. And there's a very important constitutional amendment that will be on the April ballot that deals directly with public safety. I have been a critic of our current system of cash bail because it doesn't put safety first. It actually limits, by the Constitution, it limits what a judge can look at when I can only look at whether someone's flight risk. This constitutional amendment will put public safety first by giving the judges the ability and the requirement to consider the dangerousness of the person, the seriousness of the crime that they're committing, and their flight risk. And it also gives judges the ability to hold a very dangerous person without any amount of cash bail. That's why I'm personally going to be supporting that and voting for that when I vote in April. That's important.
I can tell your passion for that. And it is something that we are very concerned about. And that was so good that you brought that up because I totally forgot about that. And we need to talk about that, the question. So people need to pay attention to that. Tell them a little bit about how campaigning has gone for you and what that is like, because I know it had to be very interesting driving all the way up here. We are at the Lincoln Day dinner in Sawyer County at the Sawmill Saloon in Sealy, Wisconsin. Honestly, they've got about 2 feet of snow at least on the ground, and I'm sure driving up here, and you're all over the place right now, so I know that too, and I know you're very busy, so I'm not going to keep you too long, but I just wanted you to maybe talk a little bit about how the campaign's going and what's happening there, because it's a very exciting time for all of us. We're very excited. One of the most important issues, though, is to vote on February 21st. You have to vote, and we've got to get our judges over. We've just got to. It's so imperative. Very frightened about it, and so is many other people.
So there's two things that I really want to hit on, and one is when you look at my experience, 26 years total in the legal field, 11 years on the bench, 16,000 cases. Chief judge, I'm one of 9 chief judges appointed by the Wisconsin Supreme Court. I'm in my 6th term. I'm actually chief of the chiefs, so my colleagues have selected me to chair that committee. That is why law enforcement has come out so strongly for me. I have 50 bipartisan sheriffs. I have almost 80 police chiefs. I have prosecutors. I have Justice Rogensack. So very proud of that endorsement. Other Court of Appeals judges, all conservatives. And what's important is these people have vetted me, just like Scott Walker, Governor Walker, when he vetted me, when he appointed me to the bench originally in 2011. All of these people have vetted me as a judicial conservative, as someone who upholds the rule of law, who will not legislate from the bench, and they've put their name behind me and said, we support her, we endorse her. And so I'm very proud of that. And that's, of course, based on me serving as a prosecutor, as a judge, imposing 1,000 years of prison sentences, and my unwavering commitment to be fair and impartial. The other thing I want your listeners to know is there are 2 very, very good judicial conservatives on the ballot on February 21st. I'm thinking ahead, God willing, right? April 4th. We need to make sure that a judicial conservative wins in April. Here's how I know why I'm the candidate. The left is scared of me. They're spending $1.5 $5 million with outside special interest money with negative attack ads that are misleading, that are wrong. We'll give you the press release and the fact sheet so you can look at that and decide for yourself and know how misleading this is. They do not want me on the April ballot. They know I have brought appeal because of my commitment to fairness and to order. But if I don't make it through, and on February 22nd, former Justice Dan Kelly is the conservative candidate, I will endorse him, I will support him, and I will do everything that I can to make sure he's elected. Unfortunately, he has not made the same pledge to me.
I hope that we can get you through. We're going to do our best. I appreciate you to speak to me here because I know you're very, very busy. And I think having the endorsements that you have about you and seeing your history, I know you're a wife and a mom, and I know how hard that is too. I agree with you 100%. We've got to get you guys over. And if it's you, fantastic. And I hope that Justice Kelly would do the same thing for you. So thank you so much for sitting here with me and talking to me. It was great meeting you. I hadn't had a chance to yet, so I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you for the good work that you do and for getting everyone excited. Please vote. You can go to judgejennifer.com. There's actually a digital postcard you can download, and that's a Get Out the Vote card. And you can email it, you can text it, tell all your friends and family. It's really important. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but please get out the vote and tell everyone. If you tell 5 people, those 5 people tell 5 people, it keeps going. And guess what? We win this, and we don't have to worry about there being a liberal justice who will blow up the Constitution
and take all the rights that we fought so hard for over the last 12 or so years. So thank you so much, Jennifer Dorow, who is Judge Jennifer Dorow, running for Supreme Court Justice. And we're here in Sawyer County, and good luck.